Do. All right.
Yeah,
Steve, what's up, bud?
Enjoyed that long. How many hours did it? We started the morning. You started the morning a little earlier than I did, but 7:45 is when you and I both officially got started today. It's been a long day already.
But here we are. Made it to. We're not technically in Fayetteville. Technically, we're in Springdale, Arkansas, which is about 15 minutes north of Fayetteville. But you know what?
Fayetteville, the title. Is that okay?
We're in Fayetteville. It's fine.
Look at where we are.
We're in hog country, baby. I hear them being called as we speak. Interesting drive, Steven. Not a whole lot in that drive. You just go west and you just keep on going and you just keep on going. What was the most exciting thing you saw on your drive?
Most exciting thing. We drove past the Ozarks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really see. I don't know. What are the Ozarks? What am I supposed to be looking for? There was just a lot of adult shops.
Boat casinos, drug mules, like the TV show, right?
Yeah, I don't know if my mic is working all that well. Maybe it's not.
It's probably not all the way plugged in. And there we go. We're off to a good start.
Just so you know, this is what I have to deal with.
We're trying a new cable here. So let us know in the chat if the mic is working. And also hit that like button, that subscribe button helps us out a ton. I'm trying to grow this channel, Jack. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers before the season's over. Yeah, I think we passed a lot of adult shops on the way. That was fun. Saw a lot of that.
I gotta know, what is the fascination in Missouri, especially with adult shops? I don't know. Adult themed shop. I mean, there were like little shacks. They were shoving it into like little closets, they right off the highway, little tiny closet-sized shacks. I don't even know, with videos and movies and Vegas, just fascinating.
There's a lot.
How much they were able to fit in just that short drive, and Arkansas is included. They extended into Arkansas as well, but Missouri especially, they like their adult shops.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it. Every time we're like, there's another one, and there's another one, and I don't know how they all stay in business. It wasn't like there was a ton of cars there. It's very interesting. So that was the most interesting part of the trip. 10 hours at least, I think. It's about a 9-hour drive. But you know what? Where's some wood I can knock on? No traffic.
Why would you say that out loud?
I don't know.
That's not something you
regret
ever
it.
say
I
out
already
loud.
regret it.
We were on part of Route 66. It says it was the oldest
that's
part
right.
of Route 66.
Yeah, we saw the where Jesse James hit out. Is that true? Is that confirmed?
That's what they said.
Okay.
Again, we didn't stop at any of it.
I didn't see Jesse James there.
This is just what we saw on the drive. They could have literally, it could say Jesse James was currently in the building, and we I don't know any different. So a lot of interesting candy shops, lots of.
The Uranus,
and not of the 50-cent variety, just lots of.
They really leaned in. Is there a Uranus, Missouri? I might need to look that up because there were several shops leaning into that pun pretty hard.
Yeah, and Uranus is behind you once we passed it too. Even once, it's like there's.
It was a fudge shop, by the way.
There
one
are
of them.
100,000. Yeah, and that was an unfortunate play on words and they knew what they were doing with all that. But it's like all the Bucky signs when they're just like over and over and over again.
Yes,
it was the exact same thing. Just this Uranus fudge shop just would never go away.
That's Uranus, Missouri.
Yep, a diarrhea of fudge shops. Anyway, this is just stupid at this point. But hey,
there was a basketball game.
It's been a long day, man. We are delirious. We are very, very tired. But man, we are excited for some basketball. Vibes weren't good when we got in the car. Are we feeling any better after venting some of these things out and talking about it? We did get 10 hours of therapy. Was any of that beneficial?
No, because I've been telling you all day. And you've heard me do this rant before. I did this on the way to Tennessee last year, and Tennessee the year before that, and I'm sure before that there was another game, probably Tennessee, where I vented the whole time about what sucks about this? We're going down here, and there's no hope. By the time I got to Knoxville those times, and there was one other one I just can't remember what it was. I convinced myself Kentucky could win this game. They could do it. I'm not there yet. And we're less than 24 hours away from tip-off, and I still just don't see how Kentucky can win this game. So I don't I don't love that. It's not like Arkansas is like these world beaters. It's not like they're even a lock for the Elite Eight. Even, I mean, this is right now. They're like a Sweet 16 team that you have to beat. Why does it feel like it's this? It would be this colossal upset if Kentucky were to go in, and I think that Vanderbilt game doesn't help. I mean, Kentucky's won 5 of their last 6 games. But is it just
the 6th was a 25-point absolute, never close, just demolition in Nashville. City that we're now 30-point margin of loss in back-to-back trips to Nashville.
Yeah, see, and that's I'm worried that this one can get away from them. I mean, I think this is why I have no hope, because I've seen Kentucky play in how many true road games? Is it 5, 4, or 5? It does. It's one of those. And they've gotten behind by 16 points or more in every single one of them. And, granted, 2 of them they came back and won, and a third, Louisville, they came all the way back and had a chance with Jalen Lowe free throws to make it a 1-possession game. Even against Vanderbilt, the second half was better. They still got outscored by 5, but I feel like if you get down in this one,
woohoo!
They only lost by 5 in the second half. Yeah, I feel like I do think in some of those situations, you know how it is. You get up by 20 points, you just kind of lay off the gas just a little bit. I feel like if Cal might know, like, there's blood in the water, I'm going to go get them. And that's what I'm worried about tomorrow, that you're going to face an Arkansas team that isn't going to lay off the gas, that they might just – Cal can say all he wants about this game is just the next game. But it isn't. It isn't for him. There's no way. And he gets his players to play well in these personal games. When it was him versus Rick, Cal just got his guys and got them ready to play, and they played hard for him every single time. So I don't feel good about it. But that just means, Jack, that it means that I have no expectations, and I could come out of this completely surprised, and it could be a euphoric victory. This could really, this could be, I won't call it season changing. I don't think it changes anything as far as postseason expectations, but it could change just how we view this whole season. I think that's what's on the line tomorrow.
I think last year what went into it was just such an exhausting week. The Cal return to Lexington. Will he be booed? Will he not? Will the players be booed? All of just the conversation that went into it, just it brought out the most passionate Cal defenders and diehards that will live, breathe, and die by that man, and the people that hated his guts and wanted him out of town as quickly as possible. And I didn't think that Pope in particular responded well to that emotional moment. I thought that Cal came in with that, like you said, that readiness, that emotional edge of hey, we're charged up, we belong here, we're going to go win this game. I thought that was one of the several times we saw last year, but I thought that was one that it felt like the moment got a little bit too big for Pope. But to his credit, I thought it would be that times 10 taking on his old mentor in Catalana before Christmas with Rick Pitino, and he answered the bell there, and the team played very, very well and responded unbelievably well down the stretch.
Got down by 12, but yes.
Well, that's all this team does.
That's the strategy.
So that doesn't mean necessarily
no, they played great.
Anything.
Second half was great.
That game was whoa, okay. Emotional resilience, way to live up to those emotions and everything that goes into that game. So that individual win has me feeling a little bit better that this isn't just going to be a total shell shock. He walks into that building and it slips away from him mentally. That was going into the year. Pitino round 1 and then Cal round 2. Those were the 2 games I had scheduled circled on the calendar going, man, I don't know how Pope's going to respond to that. And he at least did the first one. Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit less pressure this time around too, I feel like, because what were they favored by last year? Do you remember? Because they're 9.
I think something comparable to what it is.
Oh, 6.5. I'm looking at Bartovic has Arkansas favored by 9, but yes, the spread is 6.5. I think they said 5.5.
6.5 to 7.5.
On FanDuel is 5.5. Or 7.5 on. Yeah, so FanDuel was 6.5. Yeah, that's right. I mean, what does BetMGM have it at is what I want to know.
That's what I'm checking right now.
So there's a little less pressure on Kentucky. I mean, can we do one of these games where Kentucky has their starting point guard available? I think that would be awesome if you could, because once again, Kentucky's facing a Calipari coached Arkansas team without their starting point guard. I did a whole thing about injuries today, so I won't spend a ton of time talking about that, but clearly that's going to be a big issue for Kentucky, because I just don't know, how do you stop
7.5 still officially with BetMGM. Shout out BetMGM. So 7.5 with the over-under set at 161.5.
Oof.
A lot of points.
Yeah, and 7.5. I mean, if you keep it within that and give yourself a chance to win this game, if you're within 7 points with 5 minutes to go, I think I'll feel pretty good about it. That could set up for maybe, we've seen Calipari get a little tight before in some of these close games.
It can swing both. Like if it's hovers around 15, I feel like he can swing it the other direction where he turns it into 30.
Yes.
But if it hovers in that 12, 11, 10-ish range, that's when Kentucky can just go on hit a couple baskets, get a couple of stops, and then brand new ball game in the final stretch, and then anything happen.
Don't start giving me hope, Jack. Don't do this. Don't do this to me.
That is something I have kept in the back of my mind, that Cal has been tight. Like that is his territory, playing with big leads, and he would have to stay mentally locked into no, I am intentionally running up the score. And how often did we ever see him do that as our head coach?
You're absolutely right. And the one thing that Mark Pope, you're going to have me talked into this win by the end of this show.
We just for inside baseball, while we were walking down from our hotel room coming down here, we were going, all right, we got to let's try to be more positive. Let's try to be more upbeat. It can't just be a doom and gloom. Hey, we came down to Fayetteville to get our ass.
Yeah, and now candidly, I'm just in.
So this is intentional. We're trying to pull some of that out of you.
Yeah, no,
or push some of it into you, maybe.
Well, let's look at how Mark Pope does in close games. I mean, he actually does really well when the games are close. Dating back to last year, of course, and then in this season. I think the close games they've lost would have been Missouri and UNC, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then almost all of their SEC wins, sans Mississippi State, have all been down to the wire, close games. You need a bucket or you need to get a stop. And to their credit, they're doing that more times than not in the Mark Pope era. So if it is close, I'm glad Kentucky has Mark Pope. I think that there's an opportunity there to out-scheme them in the final few minutes. Talent-wise, though, we just don't match up. Maybe Otega Owe, but if you look at just the starting fives, is there anybody from Kentucky's starting five that you would take over Arkansas' starting five?
Probably Otega Owe over Malik Thomas.
Yeah, and that's about it.
I'd take Otega over Carter Knox. But in terms of comparable, I think that's probably the one. But Darius Acuff, man, he is a whole different animal. And I think the fascinating part about him is his reputation coming out of high school. Unbelievable talent in terms of scoring. He was a dude that you could just say, hey, go take a game over, and we trust you to go do that. But he had a reputation where people didn't want to play with him in high school. He was kind of a one-man band. You live and die by me, and if you want to be on my team, you're going to watch me take the final shot, and you're not going to. He was the Ricky Bobby of high school basketball. And it's funny just watching him, when Pope's previewing this matchup and talking about Darius Acuff and all the things he does well with the scoring and the shooting and efficiency and all that stuff. It's he is coming off a 10-0 assist-to-turnover game where he looked like a superstar as a playmaker and facilitator and all that stuff on top of the things that he does well as a scorer. So he has proven me wrong personally, because I was not a Darius Acuff fan out of high school, and he has been the absolute goods in Fayetteville. Yeah,
he's not the best point guard that Calipari's had, but he's probably the best point guard Calipari has had since COVID. I mean, Reed Shepherd did play point guard some, but
and Rob Dillingham,
DJ Wagner. But as far as your starting point guard,
don't even get me started.
Yeah, this is probably, I would say this is the best starting point guard that he has had since. The Malik Monk.
I didn't mean to say are Case and Wallace.
Kaysen was really good.
Xavier,
but Darius in college, obviously Kaysen Wallace ended up being.
He's in that De'Aaron Fox
I would say since De'Aaron Fox, he's the best one. Yeah. Does that seem fair?
Tyrese Maxey
was really good. Yeah, but is Darius? I don't know, man. Darius Acuff might be just as good, if not better. I I hope that we're glazing him right now for him to just throw up a nothing burger tomorrow.
And I talked about this on Roll Call today. There is a little bit of that to his game where I talk like he does kind of, he gets some tunnel vision. There are times like the traits that we hated about DJ Wagner at his worst at times. There are times that he can kind of get into that bad shot selection. You're living and dying by my bad shots, and you die sometimes.
Yeah.
It just hasn't happened very, very often. So that's kind of the hope that Denzel Aberdeen can look at this individual matchup and view it as hey, I want a national championship in this league. I've seen all of this. I've been there, done that. Like the league, I want it in the most dominant version of this league, any league in the history of college basketball in terms of NCAA bids. Like, you think Darius Acuff scares me? You think Malik Thomas scares me? You think that these guys, no, they're another group that would have been, this Arkansas team would have finished 5th in the SEC last year.
Right. No, that's a good point.
So I'm hoping that Denzel looks at this individual matchup and goes, hey, you do not scare me. I can at least neutralize you. Because if you can neutralize Acuff, I think everything else can fall into place for Kentucky.
I mean, just looking at his most recent games, it's impressive. Yeah, it makes me sick. 31 points against LSU, 21 points against Oklahoma. But the last time he really had a bad game, we were going all the way back to early in the season, back when you and I were in New York City, as we thought Winthrop was going to steal one in Fayetteville. And he was 3 of 10. So I didn't get a chance to watch the film from that one to know what did Winthrop do to slow him down and hold him to just 30% from the field and 12 points, because he's just been on fire lately. I mean, Vanderbilt 17, at Georgia he had 20. He's solid, dude. And Denzel Aberdeen's got his hands full. I mean, he's not the only guy they got. Like, that would be one thing if it was just him, but obviously you still got Wagner, you still got Knox. They got a good team, but again,
Trevon Brazile has been very, very good for them. He's taken a jump. I think that's a lot of Kenny Payne, as much crap as he's gotten for how the Louisville thing unfolded and kind of just being washed.
He's back in the role that he's good at.
He took a raw piece of clay and kind of molded him, unlocked that potential that Brazile has, and he's been, as in that top tier of SEC forwards, bigs that they've seen, and that's going to be a tough ask as well.
Yeah, and I'm just going through the roster. I forgot Billy Richmond. I mean, he's
been fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised that they're not better.
Yeah.
A little, I'm surprised that, Samson was the other team that nearly took him down. Was it Samford? Who was it? That almost beat, it doesn't matter. There was another mid-major team that almost beat them back in November.
Samford,
yeah, Samford. So what was that score? 79-75?
They had back-to-back.
And then Winthrop,
absolute, as 23.5 and 25.5 point favorites.
Like, that's where Kentucky's schedule is the toughest schedule remaining in college basketball. But these quad ones, they're not Florida from last year. It's not Duke. You're not playing this year's Michigan Wolverines or Iowa State. Like, these teams aren't. I don't know that there's a team in the SEC that will get a 1 seed. I think the cumulative bracketology, I think the highest the team is like Florida, and they're 3rd or 4th, something like that. So, while I hesitate to ask you this, because this is going to sound super negative.
12.
Okay.
In the net.
Okay. So what is that?
Florida.
Is that a 3 seed?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like the highest seed that Kentucky will face as of right now for the regular season. Winning tomorrow, and we can talk more about this game individually, but I look at Kentucky's schedule, and I get worried that there's not more than 3 wins out there. Do you think there are more than 3 wins remaining on the schedule? I think that might still get you in the tournament. But there's 3 games that I think they'll win. But you have to win those 3. Everyone else is like you're stealing a game. And, playing at home, maybe you can get Florida at home. Maybe There's no such thing as a rough whistle, I've learned, but maybe
Oklahoma and South Carolina on the road are your non-negotiables.
You have to win those.
Got to win those, and I think if you look at it, you got to beat Georgia. I think Georgia is the third of close to non-negotiable territory. And then closest to that probably in College Station against the team who's currently leading the SEC.
Right. That's the And then you would think, well, Vanderbilt at home, but are we going to flip? I mean, it's possible you flip a 25
That's
point
probably
deficit.
the next closest of, hey, I expect them to respond well enough to win that game.
Yeah. And you beat Tennessee once, maybe you beat them again. But what I'm getting at is that tomorrow could be huge because it's a game that nobody's even considering Kentucky winning.
The reason why we look at the Auburns and the those middle tier teams right now that we look at it and go, oh yeah, I don't know how we're going to do that, is because of we haven't been able to beat teams like Arkansas. If you are able to beat an Arkansas, you're like, well, we just saw them against comparable talent win in a hostile environment. We saw them respond against elite talent. Why, if they can do it in this one, why can't they, have they grown up enough to be able to respond in those other middle tier games? There's just so many in that middle chunk that make it that make it tough. And it would and if they get their butts kicked, then you go, well, then do they even get three? Like, are they will they be able to beat Georgia at home? Will they be able to, go to College Station and win at Texas A&M? Like, that's when you start getting into those real concerns of, okay, will they even make the tournament? Like it's a massive swing of an individual matchup that could kind of decide what the rest of the season looks like.
Yeah. So right now you're 5-3, and the next. Okay, so if you can win tomorrow, you're also talking about. Oh, well, you're right back in that SEC race again because I kind of gave up on that after the Vanderbilt game.
They're probably not going to win the league. I mean, that feels impossible. Right. Not impossible, but a lot of stuff would have to go your way to put yourself into that position again. But you are still firmly in that double bye territory. Like, you can still win your way into control your own destiny into
that's another
starting
thing.
Friday. That'd be huge. I mean, when is the last time we felt that level of, okay, weekend basketball in Nashville, assuming they take care of business in the games they're supposed to take care of business in?
Yeah, no, I mean, when's the last time? Well, actually, 2024, I went to Nashville thinking Kentucky might just win this whole thing. And then Tennessee lost. I was like, they're going to win this whole thing. Or Auburn, I don't forget the game that was before them. And I thought, okay, they can do this. And then they, it wasn't even in the game versus A&M. So thanks, Cal, for that. We haven't. When's the last time we played on Sunday? 2018. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier to get there.
Williams game, Admiral Schofield.
Yes, that was one of the best SEC tournament championships of my lifetime. Yeah, I think that game didn't go to. Did that game go to overtime? Mm-mm. Okay, the A&M game in 2016 did. Okay, all right. So they won it in 15, 16, 17, 18, and haven't gotten back to a Sunday since. Yeah, that's frustrating, but that's why this game is big too. I didn't even think about that as far as you needing to finish in the top four to get that double bye. Because let's be real, we went to the NCAA tournament last year knowing that winning 4 games was going to be tough. It would be amazing if they got to play on Saturday. I haven't seen Kentucky play on Saturday since I got this job. My first.
Hey, me neither.
Oh, really?
Twins.
Oh, wow. So I haven't seen that happen yet. And I know the last time they did that, I think, was 2022 and lost to Tennessee in a game they were never in. So, yeah, that makes this game even bigger because, it keeps you in that hunt. You're not going to get there going 8-10 in conference. So, but I do think 8-10 gets you into the NCAA tournament. And if you can steal this win tomorrow, it does give you some room to play with. And man, I don't know. I'm trying my best to not just be super negative about this team. They've been, just wrecked with injuries in the Pope era, and you're just are we going to be able to get through the rest of the season with the guys that we got? So I mean, I feel like when you talk about Kentucky basketball, you almost have to be like, when you look too far ahead, it's meaningless because they're not even going to. I mean, how many guys? I mean, how many minutes is Zach Toe going to be playing against Florida? You know what I'm saying? I'm using hyperbole,
I
but
hope he plays 2 at the end of a blowout.
There you go. Yeah, it's senior day. Yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, that's the thing that you're like. How many? I don't think Arkansas has an injury, do they?
No.
Their injury report, I think, is going to be clean when we get it.
I think it's out right now. Let's
live.
Let's get a live reaction at the.
Now remember this. Remember Calipari when he was at Kentucky, his last several years, also ravaged with injuries. I mean, they barely played any games his last season with the full roster that was available to them.
All right, here we go. We ready?
Yes. Let's just look at everybody's. So how many does... Okay, A&M has one guy out. Georgia, all available.
And Mbako's been out for a while, so this is nothing new.
Oh, all available for South Carolina.
Dan Thomas, doubtful again. That's unfortunate for LSU. Oh, wow, a total clean slate.
For Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Or fortunate for them.
Mississippi State, clean. Missouri has one guy out. Ole Miss, probable Malik Dia. That'd be big for them.
Miles still out.
Vanderbilt has, Vanderbilt has a couple. Kentucky, 3.
Arkansas,
clean.
All available. Not one single drop of injury.
And we have 3, potentially all of them being
starters. Yeah,
all starters and potentially all season enders.
Yeah, potentially.
That's unbelievable. Like, can we just? That's unbelievable.
Alabama, Florida, one of the most exciting head-to-head matchups.
Clean.
Not a single injury in the entire season.
So how many injuries are even in the SEC right now? Like, how many guys are out in the SEC? 1, 2,
5.
So 3 for Kentucky.
Okay. So 4 outside of Kentucky. 5, 6, 7.
So there's 7.
Almost half of the. Yeah.
Wait, are there 7 total?
7 not
Kentucky. So there's 10, and 30% of the people out are just from one team. Yeah. That is freaking unbelievable. Like, can we just? That is unbelievable. Now look, I'm not saying that Kentucky is even better than Arkansas healthy. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that's unbelievable that you could have 3 starters with potentially season-ending injuries, and it's freaking January 30th, Jack. That's unbelievable. That is truly unbelievable. Considering you finished the season with 2 guys sidelined for the rest of the year in Kirk Risa and Jackson Robinson, and then on top of that, you had your starting point guard Lamont Butler, who couldn't play in this game last year because he was off and on with injuries. You had Andrew Carr, who couldn't play in some of the games and was dealing with back problems the whole year. I mean, what the hell is going on? This is absolutely insane that we have to deal with this every single freaking year. I'm tired of it. Like, I'm so sick of it, and it's nobody. I don't think it's anybody's fault necessarily. It's just bad luck. I can't. Like, I just. It's okay. I'm going to stop because it's not. I'm just getting upset, and there's no one to get upset at. Anyways, Kentucky's missing 3 players tomorrow.
Young man yelling at basketball god clouds.
Yeah. And you would think eventually it'll swing into our favor at some point. Maybe we've had a clean. I mean, literally, Mark Pope so far at Kentucky has had 2 games with a clean injury report in the SEC. Now, Jack. He lost both of those games. So it's hard to use it as an excuse. And one of them was Missouri, and a game that you absolutely should have won. And you would have wrote a 6-game winning streak into that Vanderbilt game. But that sucks. And you're going to need a huge game. I mean, huge game out of Denzel and Ortega. Mm-hmm. They got to be good. That's
the issue, though. You kind of trust them to do. I mean, exactly what we saw in Nashville. Like, what they did in that matchup, nothing was surprising about them being the leading scorers, being 20 burger and all that stuff. Nothing out of the norm. But the fact that nobody else on the team had over 5 points in that game it's just not good enough. And I know that's a product of, like, hey, well, Cam maybe would have scored more than 5, or Jalen would have scored maybe more than 5, and Jaden Quaintance maybe would have. So, like, that's where the depth comes into play. But, man, like, you just got to have somebody else step up. Like, somebody has to, in this matchup with Arkansas, as good as they are scoring the basketball, one of the most efficient teams in college basketball. They get downhill. One of the most efficient teams in transition this season. Like, they are so gifted in that regard. Like, it is a high-octane, get up and down the floor, scoring juggernaut. You got to be able to have the horses to keep up, or else it could get away from them very, very quickly and turn into a 20-point loss. Who else steps up? That's the question, Stephen. We know it's going to be Denzel. We know it's going to be Ortega. Who of that next 7 will give Kentucky enough to keep up in this matchup?
You got to have Colin Chandler hitting threes. I think that the only way Kentucky comes out of Fayetteville with a win is if they hit like 10 to 12 3-point shots. And to do that, Colin Chandler, who's been really good this year from behind the arc, he's got to be able to he's got to be on tomorrow. And then you got to get something from like the Trent Noah, Jasper Johnson duo. Like those 2 guys need to hit shots because, I mean, Jasper's a little turnover prone sometimes. So he's got to take care of the ball. You know these guys' deficiencies. Trent Noah, not the best defender. It's probably not like a great game for Trent Noah. If you had Cam Williams, I would bet Noah plays 0 minutes.
One, yeah.
And so like because you don't have him, Trent's going to have to play, and he's going to be a little bit of a liability on defense. So when he's out there, he's got to hit shots, and he's got to be okay taking shots. This doesn't need to be a game where your top shooters, which is Trent Noah, I'm including in that. I know he's only shooting what is it, like 3 of 11 or something, 2 of 11 against the high major teams. He's got to pull. Like we all trust Trent Noah to make shots. Mm-hmm. So I've seen Kentucky players do this recently, and I don't know if it's something that they've talked about, but passing up open threes to ball fake and sidestep, and not even ball fake and step through for a jumper, ball fake, sidestep, and then pass, and the shot clock's, it's at 10. Well, we probably should have just taken that available shot that we had. The perimeter players need to step up. If you can get another 8-0 run out of Jasper Johnson, that would be great. If you get him to bank in a 3 or 2, there's hope if you're connecting from downtown. But if you're not, like you said, this one can really get away from them.
Do you buy that this is just another game for John Calipari?
Absolutely not. No. And maybe I don't know what he tells his players before games. You might have better insight into some of this than I do, but I've always wondered, like when he played Louisville, right? Didn't you always feel like Rick Pitino's players always were so tight, like it just meant so much to them, and then they would fold. Mm-hmm. Even when Louisville was better a few times, Cal still got them. Like that 2014, to beat them twice that year, 2013, 2014 season, Louisville was better. They were the defending champions with a lot of guys back. And still, Kentucky beat them both times. And for whatever reason, Calipari's guys don't play so tight in these very personal games for Cal. And I don't know if it's that he treats it with them like it's just another game. But anybody that was on this team, and there are several players who were on this Arkansas team, they know what Calipari's face was like in that locker room in Rupp Arena last year. And how he was slapping high fives and like pointing, like DJ, like how he looked at the scoreboard and said, I thought we were losing, which is hilarious because I love that. Because no, he didn't. I love these Cal stories because
I like how in the press conference that we're talking about where he's like, he said, somebody had to tell me that we were playing Kentucky last year. I'm like, okay, bro.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not. It's a huge game for him because, for one, like you said, and this was another little backhanded, not compliment. This is another he's very good at this part of the press conferences. He's very good at it. And you read between the lines, and like all Kentucky fans are able to do because we've heard him talk for so many years. But his line about we're not worried about this. We're trying to keep up with everyone else for the league championship, which Kentucky isn't. Do you get what I'm saying? Like he knows what he's doing. He knows the words that he's using. And that little patting on the head that he gave Mark Pope there, I hope Mark Pope takes that. I hope he's like, I'm going to kick your ass. Like I hope that's what Mark Pope is thinking right now, because that's what he was doing. He's patting our coach on the head. Our coach. Can I say our or we? I don't know. We're in a different state. I may not be able to do that. Kentucky's coach was being patted on the head, and I hope Mark Pope took that personally.
Yeah,
What did you think about those comments? You and I talked about it on the way here, but I never really got your like true unfiltered thoughts on Calipari's comments.
Well, it's it's what he does. Like when he says it's the blood in the water, as you say. He is very good at finding vulnerabilities and finding things that either get the fan bases riled up or get under an opposing coach's skin, or kind of like that Mark Fox deal at Georgia, where
he's on the
because that's just enough. Where putting that out there puts just enough on like the Georgia AD to hear that and go, oh well, the Hall of Fame coach says that this guy is good enough, so maybe I shouldn't fire him at the end of the season. It's just that extra layer of doubt that he is so good at like leaving the little nuggets here and there before getting back to see his dogs. Like when he's rolling, he's very, very good at that, and it's just frustrating to see it at our program's expense this season. And I do hope that there is a level of I hope that he doesn't view that as, oh well, Coach Cal, the Hall of Famer, thinks I'm doing a good job. Like I hope he sees through that.
Mark Pope,
I'm pretty sure he.
Do you think Mark Fox sees it?
He should. Yeah,
because there's been some tweets
that pissed me off too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Mark Fox should take this game personally because Cal kicked his ass so many years. He should probably be like I'm so sick of losing to this guy. Let's come on. What's the game plan? He's a defensive guy. We're going to shut him down.
Concerns me about the being tens and the emotional baggage that comes into this game, because this isn't just a level of Kentucky's desperate to get for how things unfolded in Nashville, knowing that the way they lost in Nashville led every fan out there to view that 5-game winning streak as what did they have to do to beat LSU? What did they have to do to come back against Tennessee? The other win, quad 3 wins, how good we didn't learn anything about this team. So it brought back all of the doubts that we had coming out of that Missouri loss, those back-to-back losses. And now the pressure is on for, as we've talked about, we think that Kentucky's going to make the tournament, but there is still that just lingering outside concern of hey, if we lose this one badly, then what happens if things get wonky? Oklahoma just took Arkansas to the wire. What happens if they come into Rupp Arena and give them a test, or somehow, some way lose that game, and then you're riding a 3-game losing streak, and then the fan base is bought out? We're just in that really funky, tricky territory where things can swing totally back in the right direction, as we're talking about, where double bye and all that stuff in the SEC tournament, and then it can also swing in the other direction where we're going, hey, we're back on the bubble, and this team doesn't belong in even any postseason conversation. So it's a scary game. It does. It really does scare the crap out of me.
I don't consider this Kentucky Super Bowl or anything like that.
It's Arkansas.
They have the T-shirts.
Doing the T-shirt.
We're doing the T-shirt game.
I have a theory on that before you say what you're going to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think the marketing department communicated with John Calipari with this at all.
No, they did not.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I am fairly certain that if it came across John Calipari's desk that they were doing any type of T-shirt night, any type of theme, that he would punch that guy in the face, whoever that marketing person is for Arkansas.
Yeah.
He'd just punch him straight in the face. Because this is anti everything that John Calipari stood for so long.
He did not want them to do this.
Yeah. So my hunch is I hope that he's just seething over in his office at Bud Walton Arena going, how did they not ask me if this was something that I wanted, leading this program, going against my old school? No, I don't want to white out. So
he comes out wearing one of the shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super
Pig
Bowl.
Suey.
Super Bowl.
Has Cal, we do have a video of Cal doing any Pig Sueys?
Just that opening press conference.
He's never going to do it again, right?
No,
It embarrasses the hell out of him, right? He hates doing it. No. It's like when you go coach at Texas A&M and you got to do that stupid thing that they do. No coach wants to do that.
Yeah.
That's what kept Mark Stoops from going to Texas A&M, right?
Was
right?
it?
Yeah, maybe not. What shirt do we think Reed Shepherd's wearing tomorrow?
Blue.
He better be decked out all in blue.
He's going to post a picture tomorrow painted blue. It's going to be a Smurf tomorrow. He is going to paint his whole body. He's going to look like that movie Big Fat Liar. Remember where he takes the shower and
yes.
It's all Paul Giamatti is just his whole body is blue. That's going to be Reed Shepherd tomorrow. He's like, I am not playing this game again.
You think maybe he just doesn't do anything, just kind of sits this one out?
That's probably what he ends up doing. But he needs. It would be very smart on his part to wear a UK shirt just to get the the bad taste of last year. It would make fans feel better, at least.
Yeah. That was really unfortunate last year, and I hated it for Reed and everything. I know he's trying to, the guy who got him to the NBA. I understand why he likes Calipari, but wear Arkansas shorts. That tweet, the hogs on top, wasn't
so stupid.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that they were able to use that.
A shirt of one of the 10,000 pictures that you have with your head coach, arm wrapped around him, or a sign of hey, I support my former coach, but I'll never not support my program, like my school, my
state,
home, my state,
my dad's school, my mom's school.
Yeah, you just don't. But what?
If Kentucky would have won, it wouldn't have mattered. So really,
well, I think in his head he thought Kentucky was going to win and it wasn't going to matter.
Right.
And then Kentucky lost, and then it became a bigger story than it needed to.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were about to go on a little rant before I cut you off.
Yeah, what was I ranting about? I don't know. There's like 6 things I could rant about. Where did we leave that one off? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah, we might have to. Well, we'll come back to it. But the importance of this game. Oh, Super Bowl. We were talking about Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Go Patriots.
Yeah. Oh God, you guys. I'm telling you. Gosh, I forget. You still have football games to watch, or at least one more.
I heart Drake May.
This isn't my Super Bowl or your Super Bowl or Kentucky fans' Super Bowl, but I'm gonna be careful with this. I know the comments are gonna hate me for it. This is one regular season win that we would remember for a very long time.
Oh, why'd you say it like that? That you're going to get cooked for that.
Oh, I understand. I know what I was doing.
Definitely going to get cooked.
But I would be lying if I said that beating Calipari for the first time with him not at Kentucky wouldn't mean something to us. That it wouldn't be a game, especially when no one's giving Kentucky a chance. Especially when it can really hurt Arkansas's chances of winning the SEC. Right now, if they win tomorrow and A&M loses, they'll be tied for first place. So Kentucky has a chance to go in and ruin that. I know we have plenty of games left, but that would be big. But also, what it would mean for the Kentucky team and the momentum going into a game that you should win at home versus Oklahoma. Now you're writing, and now you can look at it, Jack, as being, wow, they've won 7 of 8. And they're right there. We would be right there at the top, 7-3 with 8 games to go, and you got Tennessee coming in. This could be a huge game, and not just in terms for the season. Obviously, that's kind of what I was getting at. Last year, we have to be honest with ourselves about what last year was. I mean, last year we treated it like it was the biggest game in a decade. How much were people paying for tickets? I talked to a guy.
I saw it was like $630.
There was a guy who paid $400 and he drove there the day of and paid for it. And I'm driving back. I live all the way in Western Kentucky, Callaway County, and I drove here and I'm going to drive back after the game. You don't do that for just any old SEC game against a 1-5 or whatever they were SEC team.
1-6.
Jeez, dude, that's crazy. I don't know. I know the guys were injured, but it still bothers me. See, it still bothers me now. It was the one. Yeah, they lost some games. Ohio State game was terrible in Madison Square Garden last year, but that's the one. If you ask somebody, okay, how would you grade Mark Pope's first year? Give him a B+. Would have been an A if he just would have beaten Arkansas, right? I mean, that's one black eye. So this year sort of makes up for it. And yeah, it's not our Super Bowl. We're not gonna hang the banner because we beat Arkansas in a regular season game. We're not gonna
popcorn boxes.
Yeah, we're not gonna do a whole presentation and have a parade. But between at least between now and the Oklahoma game, it would be something. Yes, we would celebrate it, and it would be something at the end of the season that you can go, okay. We went 9-11 or we went 10-10 in conference, but man, that was fun beating Tennessee and Arkansas on the road. So you're not winning a title this year. Can we just safely say you might go on a run and get to the Elite Eight, but you're not Kentucky's just with the injuries and everything else. You're not winning a title. So now to enjoy this season, we're looking for individual moments, and this is it could be one of the bigger individual moments.
All of that may be fair. But we also need to acknowledge that none of that is acceptable at the University of Kentucky.
100%. I totally agree with that.
And I'm okay with doing the goalpost moving as long as the grander caveat to all of it is to say that Mark Pope is not living up to his own standard that he set for himself the first day that he took the job at the podium, that Sunday in April at that press conference. If you go back and listen to those words about crush me whenever we're down and, nothing outside of this was the standard, and, I want to feel this and that. It all sounds good when you're saying it into a microphone in front of 20,000 passionate fans that are wanting to root for you. But it's a different thing when we are now in late January looking for regular season wins to saying that it's not the Super Bowl, but kind of wording it that this would be something that we would look at as at least we got that one. Well,
yeah,
it shouldn't be that way.
No, I agree.
And it's very, very frustrating that the season. Yeah. So yes, we do have to acknowledge that this roster is not what we thought it was going to be. That this isn't
injuries didn't help, but yes, I mean, like this roster, even healthy.
I don't recall y'all getting permission to be filming out here. I spoke with my general manager about it. He doesn't recall having anyone ask about that. We here are very uncomfortable with you filming the open lobby. So
okay, we'll shut it down. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, cool. That's cool. Jack, you want to close it down?
Yeah. Shout out Parlor Pizza. Everything that they do, we genuinely appreciate. Their hot honey pepperonis and their garlic sticks and all of the great things that come with Parlor Pizza. So many new options. There's a new one coming in Richmond. I'm very excited to give that one a shot. But a couple just very short drive away from Rupp Arena. Make sure you go check them out. And we'll do another one. We'll do a pregame tomorrow. We'll get some real takes away from here, and hopefully we get a big time victory. And we'll circle back tomorrow. Go Cats.